RedSeaPodcast, a show that was supposed to happen yesterday, but due to some personal issues, uh, I chose to move it. I didn't really expect to do it today. I didn't really plan on doing it today, but I thought that the least I can do for you guys is give you the quality and the quantity that all deserve and always massively support. But yeah, for those of you that have been watching me for a while now, or that have even been listening on Spotify for a while now, uh, you can probably see and hear it in my voice that I am a bit disheveled. I am going through some personal stuff that I am quite positive that they will get better soon. I am severely positive that they will get better soon, but I apologize if the next episode or two are quite lower energy, quite uh, not lower quality, because even in the worst of moments, I want to give you guys the content that you deserve. But I apologize if I seem a bit distracted. And if I lose uh, composure at some points, I severely apologize. But with this team, uh, there is no rest for the weary. There is no rest for those that are here. There is no rest for those that love it. There is no rest for those that live it. As the show is called, I don't expect anything professional. This show isn't professional either way, but especially now, don't expect anything professional. But I thought that it would be nice to come on here and chat for about an hour and to get your guys' opinion, whether you're listening now or after, about the ins and outs that seem to be floating Olympiakos FC. But once again, for the final time, to not keep whining about it, I apologize if I seem distracted or least composed than usual. I'm very positive that the stuff that is troubling me will end in a very positive note very soon, but the next couple of episodes may be a bit lower. Now, let's start with something that I don't think any of us really wanted to even talk about, especially after the transfer of Babis Kostulas, and that's the latest rumors regarding Juventus, Milan, and Christos Mouzakitis. Of course, it came out yesterday. I'm pretty sure that there was a Serie A team or a couple of Serie A teams that would come knocking on the door for Mouzakitis with a big offer. I think it was around the 25-ish mark, but we didn't know the name of the team. And as of today morning, again, if I'm not completely mistaken, we learned that that team is Juventus. Juventus have shown the strongest interest for our star boy in the midfield. And also, if I seem like I'm melting, it's because it feels like 35 degrees in this room. But as I was saying, Juventus are the most interested, as it seems, and there have been a few whispers here and there regarding AC Milan, but nothing as concrete as the Juventus interest seems to be. Mind you, Juventus are not only part of a league and a group of teams that are struggling severely with financial issues, as is the entirety of the Serie A. But we are talking about a team that hasn't spent above 9 million, I am pretty sure, on a teenager in half a decade or even more. I can't recall. I forgot to note it down. The Thrill of Seven boys, as always, covered me off on that one. And go check out the post to confirm the year and the player I'm talking about. But it's been years since uh, since Juventus have spent 10 plus million on a teenager, let alone 25. On the other hand, we we expected interest for Mouzakitis as we did for everyone, and I'll talk about someone that is very strongly linked to another Serie A team in a bit. Uh, but I don't think I would be way more sure if you asked me some weeks ago, but I don't think that the club will sell Christos Mouzakitis unless a crazy offer comes in. And I think that for Christos to leave this summer, especially after Babis moved to Brighton, I think the move would have to be around 30 plus. I know that if the the 25 reported, I'm pretty sure it is 25, maybe I'm completely mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the reported offer set to come in is around 25. If it's set to come in, you'd think that there would be clubs to persist that would give 30 and above, but I do not even want to begin to think about uh, the the prospect of clubs giving such a fee and us losing not just one but both of our stars in the span of weeks, not even a month. Of course, because there isn't just the Serie A and especially Juventus are just the latest to come forward. There is interest from everywhere for Christos Mouzakitis, with the most prominent outside of the Serie A being Villarreal and Girona. Girona, once again, as mentioned in the past, have the City Football Group advantage in regards to prospects that they can offer Mouzakitis. But perhaps it's my delusional positivity that comes forward. But I don't think Moza will go. But as always, I will keep you all updated. Now, regarding to someone, I'm way more afraid that he will end up going this summer, and that's Lorenzo Pirola. Lorenzo Pirola, of course, showing us how bright of a talent he is in the past season with Olympiakos, having played the most minutes out of all of our centre backs, having proven his quality and having shown that he's irreplaceable, dare I say, for that starting 11 role next season next to Rachel. But with him continuing to prove himself in the under 21s Euro tournament as he's captaining his side to amazing results and captaining his side to amazing personal performances, I think the rumors were expected. I do not know if an offer has come in, but I am expecting an offer to come in. I don't remember exactly the fee that was rumored, but if I'm not completely mistaken, Olympiakos have said that they won't sell for below 15 million. And I'll put it plain and simple. We can't sell Lorenzo Pirola this window, in my opinion. We're talking about a player that has the potential to grow an insane amount, and a player that right now, as insane as it may sound in a way, he can't be replaced. We'd have to look very hard for a replacement to bring him if we do end up selling Lorenzo Pirola. But moving back, I am afraid that Roma will meet Olympiakos' demands, and honestly, I wouldn't blame Pirola if he does want to move back to the top of the Serie A. But I'm also afraid that the aforementioned Juventus will come back with an offer. Of course, they were interested. They had shown interest about a month ago. They had inquired about Pirola. I don't think they made an official offer, but they had inquired about Pirola. And I'm afraid that we'll be hearing that very, very soon as well. Now, going from the negatives to the positives, Scipioni, the proclaimed next Santiago Esse, even though I semi disagree with the comparison, and I'll tell you all why. Of course, Lorenzo Scipioni is a young Argentinian talent playing for Tigre. I think I have completely messed up the name of the team, so forgive me in my social media post. But yeah, he's a young talent. He is a year younger than me, which is absolutely maddening if you think about it. And honestly, he fits in a category that he's an out and out six. he is the definition of a six. He honestly is. It's how I tried my best to describe him when I first reported the interest, which, by the way, has moved to apparently personal terms agreed with Olympiakos, but awaiting an agreement with the team. This is a pen, by the way. YouTube, don't go nuts over an unidentified object. Uh, we have apparently agreed on personal terms, but there is still an agreement to be made with the team. And as the boys over at 307 said, I wouldn't get too excited too early because we all know how the South American deals go. We all saw it firsthand with Santiese and Francisco Ortega a couple of years ago. We know how many people get involved in deals from South America to Europe. We know how many factors have to be passed and acknowledged for a player to move from South America over to Europe. But honestly, talking about it more and more, I am very excited about the prospect of bringing Scipioni in because I don't think that we'll get a better chance to find a player with such passion and fire in his game, yet such an old school mentality. And if we do bring him in, and again, this is a personal opinion, it will be massive props to the scouting department for finding him, and it will be massive props to the team for hopefully getting that deal done. He's also not short in the slightest. He is a big man. He's 181, and he is strong as shit. Uh, he played 15. Wait, I I studied this. I swear I have a stat line. Let me see if I can. No, I don't think I can bring it up. Let me actually try something. Wait, give me a very quick second to see if I can bring this up. Let me see if nothing will lag because this actually lagged my my computer severely before. Let me try and share this. Give it a quick second. There it is. I have this in front of me right now. I don't know if you all can read this. If you all are listening after, do pause and read this. I took this off Twitter, of course. And I want to focus here, the, the defensive stats, more or less. Because, of course, the offensive stats are very impressive for such an out and out old school midfielder, of course. 1.1 XG on 9 shots, two of them are on goal. The progressive passes are very impressive, and especially the progressive runs per 90. Again, speaking comparatively to who the player is and what he offers. But I want to focus here a lot, if possible, that he recovered 6.55 balls and 1.42 pass blocks or shots for 90. he made 3.85 successful entries and made 2.23 interceptions per 90, committed 2.41 fouls, and was fouled 0.95 times per 90. Of course, you can see performance ratings right here and percentile right here. Take your time to read all this. There is everything that uh, regards the player. A very impressive heat map, especially right here. And in a more general aspect, it's ever so it's ever so nice to finally see us chasing and producing the future for the team, and not just bringing names, not just bringing uh, pointless transfers. Uh, as much as some rumors that have been heard are relatively pointless, but that's a whole different story. I hope we bring Scipioni in. I really hope we bring Scipioni in. Now, the the second most heard individual is Carlos Vicente. Carlos, of course, uh, having played for Alaves in La Liga, having impressed for Alaves in La Liga, having been one of the very few impressive points in that Alaves team. He played 37 matches in La Liga, scored 5, assisted 5, and he played one match in the Copa del Rey and he assisted 1, playing 3,000 minutes and playing 77 in the Copa del Rey, not really missing many matches. He can cover the entirety of the right side. Think Rodinei, but opposite, if that makes sense. He's a prominent right winger, but he played both right mid and right back this season when needed. 34 games as the right wing, 5 goals, 6 assists in all competitions, 2 games as a right back, and 1 game as a right midfielder. Of course, he had his biggest role in Ferrol, 64 games, 12 goals, and 16 assists. But as a total, in Alaves, he had 57 games, 7 goals, and 10 assists. People haven't been the most impressed, dare I say, regarding Vicente for many reasons. People have talked about his performances, people have talked about the level that we need versus the level that we're bringing in, if we do bring in Carlos Vicente, uh, which, by the way, we're not gonna bring in for 10 million. So I had to guess if we do bring him in, the fee would be lower, as it is lowered for Milla, who, by the way, you will forgive me, but there will be a separate uh, episode about Milla because I forgot to note down goddamn stats for the guy. Uh, but yeah, if the club wants to bring him in, if Mendilibar wants him to say that in a better way, I trust Mendy blind, and it seems that Mendy wants him, and it seems that Mendy wants Milla. So I hope we bring both in, and I hope we bring whichever name Jose Luis Mendilibar asks for, without a second thought, because I think the man has proven by a mile and a half uh, that he deserves our blind trust. Now, the second last name that I want to talk about today is a man that's divided the fans quite a lot. I talked about this at the start. I am not wearing the shirt because both I didn't wanna ruin it and because the heat is way too much, as is shown by my hair. So for more random show in which, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am quite a bit uh, distracted. I didn't really want to waste the chance. I am gonna lean more wearing the two very, very sacred shirts in more important ways. But yeah, I honestly think that they look nice as I have them. God, I can't point with this pen as I have them behind me right here. Now, as I was gonna say, the name that has divided everyone is Alan Saint Maximin. Of course, we all know this man from Newcastle. We all know this man from his glory days of tearing up the Premier League and tearing all of the fullbacks and defenders that faced him a new one, honestly. But stuff has gone a bit downhill. I've seen people say that it is an issue of character, it is an issue of not fitting with the coach. I've seen others tackling his injury issues. And honestly, I think it's a mix of everything. But talking about a downfall of a player like that, not that easily convinced. Of course, we're still talking about a 28-year-old winger that is flooding with talent. We're talking about a 28-year-old winger that is full of flair. But we are also talking about a 28-year-old winger that's had a bad injury record, especially this season. And we're talking about someone that's been out of Europe for a while and about someone that hasn't really performed in Fener. Well, yes, the coach that he has isn't the easiest to work with. Jose is Jose. I don't need to talk about Mourinho. He played 20 games, scored 4, assisted 4. In the Europa League, he played 7 games and assisted 1. Plagued by injuries, as mentioned before. Of course, a knee injury and the flu being the most prominent issues that Alan Maximin ended up having this season. Missed quite a few games. Uh, he was also not included in the squad for quite a few games. Played center forward 2 games, played 28 as a left wing and 1 as a left mid. Scores his 4 goals and 5 assists came as he was playing in his natural position, which is left wing. Of course, we know him from his glory days that aren't that far behind at Newcastle with 124 appearances, 13 goals, and 21 assists, and from tearing defenders and having a banger song made about him, which I would gladly play, but I would get copyright stricken to hell. And back. Now, do I want Saint Maximin in the team? Which side am I leaning towards? As long as it is not a transfer that is forced upon Mendy, I would love if Alan Saint Maximin joined the club. As long as it is not a transfer that is forced on Mendy, I think that Mendy could easily help him get back to his best and get himself back into Europe. But there are two things that are making this deal very hard. One stands to be the injury record that a lot of people are bringing up. I am willing to overlook that if Mendilibar wants to make this move happen. I am willing to overlook that. If we are willing to take the risk with Mendilibar's order. But of course, the other one is the wages. The wages of 8 million. No? Yes. I don't remember. I remember that the wages may have been 7 million, and the fee that Fener paid, including covering wages, which Fener covered 4.5 in the loan, had been 8 million. The wages are around about there. If he was to come in, I would foresee a loan and not a permanent move. But if we were to make this happen, I'd honestly be more positive than negative. Of course, it's a bit of personal bias because I'm sure how much we all loved watching this player, and how much I want to see him at Olympiakos. But of course, Mendy knows best. And the last few rumors that I want to touch upon are these two that connected themselves unwillingly, I think. Dusan Tadic, the very well-known Dusan Tadic that is leaving Fenerbahce, and Raul Moro, that was linked with Olympiakos. Both of them were also linked with Ajax. And it turns out, as it seems, if it hasn't been announced already, because I don't keep up with Ajax, that Moro will be moving to Ajax, which may make the Tadic interest regarding us stronger. And now we're talking about a player that I am not in the goddamn slightest happy if we bring him in. And it's not the age, it's the role. I would be very happy. I apologize about the chair squeaking. I would be very happy in bringing Dusan Tadic in if we didn't bring Remy Cabella. Since we have brought in Remy Cabella, and given no one lives in these positions, I don't see a reason to bring Dusan Tadic in. And I want your opinion in the comments regarding this move, especially if it happens. But I don't really want Dusan Tadic in the team. I'm standing on that fence. And again, it's no disrespect to the player, but something that I don't feel like has a real purpose in the gut. As we go upon 40, that's about all I wanted to quickly get into today. Started a bit early, I know, but I didn't expect to be ready as early as I started. And I know I started very negatively, but I always want to be on the forefront with you all. So once again, I am being troubled right now by some personal issues, but I am very positive in that they'll turn out better than even before. But yeah, you'll excuse me for this episode being a bit lower energy than usual, and me almost losing my shit at the start. And probably the next one as well, depending on when it comes. But there is always a positive. The upgrading quality that I've been chasing may finally be here. Probably, again, probably from the next show, I am going to have a completely different camera and stuff is gonna run way smoother. Finally. And I told you that I've been chasing this like a dumb madman. So I finally won't have to worry about lag and stuff, and you all finally will see a better quality and better thing. But if that doesn't come in the next show, do expect it in the next few. And I can now say that very confidently that do expect a huge upgrade in video and general quality very, very soon. And do know that even in the worst of moments, I'm gonna give you all your support tenfold and even more. And I always appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed today's quick one. Hope I helped you catch up on what you needed. As well a special show about Lucas Media will probably be soon or something pre-recorded. It I may wait up until he comes because it's all pointing towards him joining to straight up do a transfer chatter on him. Otherwise, I'll catch up on moves again soon. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.